Okay, this video is going to be about servicing a movement out of a Tambour Mantel clock. Name on the dial is New Haven. Typical American 8-day clock. The owner said that when it's running, every now and then he hears a loud snapping sound, thunk. That'd be the spring slipping from being dry and dirty. And so we're going to work on this little guy, clean it, oil it, and you can't really tell the condition too well of the pivots, although there I see one that's obviously moving too much, until we get it cleaned, because there's an awful lot of dirt in this. There we see kind of how dirty these pivots are. Yeah, first thing we need to do is to take down the springs. Put the springs down. We've got to wind these up first. Put the C-clamp over them and then let them down with the let-down key. That's a let-down key that fits this one. We'll wind these up. Okay. Enough room in there. Huh. That's interesting. Something like that sticking in there. What the heck? Alright. Now this is really unusual. I've never seen a spring put in this way. Normally the loop of the spring is over the bottom post, like here. Why this one isn't in that way, I don't know. But instead, which is a bit unusual, this movement has an extra post, short post put in here to put the loop of the spring over. Now why on earth? Can't imagine what the reason for that is. Interesting. I see. Otherwise, when this unwound, this would go against things in here. I don't know. Never saw that before. That's on the run side. So the run side spring is kind of odd position. Okay, well, so I have to get a clamp around it. I'll put that clamp in like that. And then we're going to start letting the spring down. And you do that by putting the let-down key on. Hope I have enough strength in my hands. And our click spring is in here. Our click is in here. So what I do is, oh geez, I don't have the strength in that hand to do that. Do it with the left hand. Wind it a bit. Open the click up, let this slip a little bit, let that spring down some. That click is not in the best of health either. Okay, a little further yet. Pull the click spring, click back, let this down. Hello?
Hello. How are you?
Doing all right. Finding out I don't have the strength in my right hand to hold the spring anymore.
different tool that you can get?
Yeah, I just have to do this with my left hand now instead of the right because I can't hold this. I don't have enough strength in that right hand.
Can I hold it while you tell
No,
me?
no, I just do it this way with my,
Okay.
just do it backwards, this is fine. Okay, we got that one let down. Alright. And now we'll see about winding this side. Letting the spring down. It's going to wind the other way. Oh, I don't have the strength in that hand to wind. Oh. Cannot get over these springs. They just don't, I'm not sure whoever repaired this last put the right spring in here. Having a little trouble letting this one down. Oh man. Okay. Let's see where we are now. Sure that clamp is on there as best it can be. Okay. Yeah, that. I don't think that's the right spring in there. Too many coils. I don't think that's the right spring. Goofy things about this one. I can't see the click. Oh, there's the click. Okay. Okay, we got her down now. All right. Now we got springs captured, but if you take a look at, let's see, let me get this light up here. This spring looks okay, but when you look at this one, that looks insane. Yeah, we'll see when we get it apart. And typically, let's see what we got to do here. We got to take off the. All right. Okay, let's take off the mechanism for adjusting time first. So we'll get these off. Okay. I'm going to take off the nuts that hold the front plate on. Uh-oh. Bizarre. Strange, strange. There's 5 of these. One's a little smaller, see? Boy, sticky. Can't make my hand work. Oh, jeez. It feels like it's got glue on it. Come on. Jeez. Oh. Gummy and gooey. Okay, now we got one more in here, but this bit is too big. Let's see. This one. Can't feel it. Oh, that's too big. That one's so flat against the surface. No, none of them are going to work. Get that one with a pair of pliers. Okay. It's loosening. I have no strength in this hand at all. I've been having to walk with a cane because of my hip. And the pressure on my hand has caused my hand to swell. Just have a heck of a time. Okay, the only thing we got in the way is a spring here for the hammer. Get that out of the way. And then this should just slip right off now. It should, as I say. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we are. Oof. Look at the dirt. On those pivots. Pivot holes. This is why you got to take a movement apart. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay, let's set that aside. Let's bring this up then. And take a look at the position of the ears in here so you can see what they're looking like. And there we are. Okay. My goodness, what was done to this? We'll take a look. Yeah, this plate, back plate, you can see a lot of grimy stuff. You can also see here, somebody did some rebushing work on this. And typical. Look at, took a file in here. You see the filing marks. Somebody scratched the living daylights out of the inside of the plate with a file to even off the bushing. Same thing here, you can see where this was filed this way. This one was filed this way. Look at all those filing marks on there. Okay. So it looks like they put 3 bushings in there and just made a mess out of it. Yeah. And the bushings that they did put in there, those 3 that are filed here on the outside, can look, and they stand above the plates. They should be same level. Should be even with the plate. Oh, anyway, I'm going to deal with it. Still suspect of these springs. They just don't look right. Don't look right at all. Something's just not right with them. But we'll let them down. We'll measure them and see if it makes sense. With the time side. We look here. I gotta look through a magnifier here. You see how basically just dirty. really dirty and oily. And pivots don't look especially worn. The second wheel. Lantern pinions are dirty, but not worn. A lot of oil on everything. And then we have a third wheel. Third and fourth wheels. Just dirty. Pivots look okay. Lantern pinions look okay. Bit of rust on one trundle down there. Needs really good cleaning. Here's the escape wheel. And look like a little scoring. It's just dirt and oil. Look at the oil go around here. They really just way over oiled this thing very badly. And the chime side, let's look at those gears. There's the second wheel here. And I'm seeing it. Pivots look good. Lots of dirt, grease, and oil. It's a lot of grime and stuff on the lantern pinion, but don't see any wear. Just dirty. This is the warning wheel. Oh boy, it's got a fine bunch of trundles. And pivots look pretty good. Third wheel. These are the lifts for the hammer. Just dirty. Telephone. Another damn scam call from India. Okay. Everything looks good here, except just dirty. So lots of cleaning to do. We're going to put all these parts in the ultrasonic. Bring them back at that point and take a look at them. Okay, this is the initial cleaning, and things look better. There's these parts. Looking a little cleaner. Plates. Still some staining on the plates. And we'll polish those out and try to remove some of the scratches. Garbage call. Okay, and here is the clock. All cleaned. All the pieces are nice and clean now. When we look at all these, they look nice and clean. Now I can put things together and check for bad bearings or bad bushings. Okay, it's all cleaned. I've got the run side gears back in. That's the way it goes. But if we look at this, I'll put this over here. That's too sloppy on that second wheel. So we're going to have to rebush that. Third wheel is okay. We go on the back side. Look at that second wheel. Yeah, I think that second wheel is going to have to be replaced there too. That's the others look all right. So we've got to, where they rebushed them here, we're going to have to cut those down flat to the surface and then put some oil sinks in them. They didn't put oil sinks in them. So we'll have to rebush those too. Okay. Main wheel. Pretty loose in there. Second wheel. It's pretty loose. Third wheel, really bad. Fourth wheel, it's a warning wheel. That one's bad. And then the fly is the last one. Let's see what we got here. It's okay. Looking on the front side, that main wheel, pretty bad. Second wheel, pretty bad. Third wheel, moving quite a bit. Fourth wheel. Moves quite a bit. So it looks like basically all the bushings on the strike side are going to have to be replaced. Some people would say they wouldn't bother rebushing those. But they're going to be worn enough just in a few years that they're going to have to be rebushed then. So I'm going to rebush all of these. First thing I'm going to do is I've identified with a little black mark what the unworn side of the pivot is, or the bushing is, and I'm going to use a file to file those out. Okay, on this this side I'm going to be replacing 3 bushings, and I've already filed out the worn side. They're not really worn all that badly. I think when these were rebushed before, they were bushed too loosely. So they're really not that out of round. They just are too loose to begin with. So the first thing we want to do is we want to, this is the front plate. We want to look at these wheels. Here's the second wheel, and this is the front side. So what I want to do is I want to get an indication of what size the pivot is. So I use a caliper, and I look, it's about 1.6 millimeters. This is the third wheel, and this is the front side here, and this one is 1.2 millimeters, and the third wheel, which is this one, this side, is 1.16 millimeters. The fly isn't going to be done. This is already done. So now what I want to do is get bushings, and what I need to drill them out. And it looks like I will probably be using for 2 of these, I'll be using 1 bore of 1.25. That'll take care of, wait a minute, yeah, that'll take care of number 3. Number 2, we use a bore of, I'll find it here. Yeah, we'll use a bore of 1.5. And for the other one, we'll use one with a bore of 1. Okay, so now we have the 3 different bushings that we're going to need. And for we'll start with the second wheel. That's going to need this bushing, which requires a cutter of 3.5 millimeters. So we'll get our reamers out. And it's 3.5 millimeters, and the reamer for that is going to be 3.47, which is what we'll cut that one out with. And for the other one, point 2 is going to be 3 millimeters, which is 2.97. And the other one is also 3. Okay. Alright, let's see where we're going now. On the inside, we're going to go here. Right? Is that the one? No. That's the one there. Okay, we're going to go drill this out. other one is going to be 3. This is, oh, that's 2.5. This is 3. Yeah, 2.97. Okay, so the other two are going to go here and here. Okay, these are both good. That one and this one. Okay, now they're drilled out. Now we've got to press in a bushing. First bushing is going to go here. And we'll set that here. Well, actually what I should do is I like to just take the burr off and slightly chamfer it. That way the bushing will go in a little easier. And we'll put that right here. And we will chamfer that. Put a bushing in it. That's good bushings. And that's going to go over here. Okay. Okay, and now the next step is to broach until those are all properly sized. There's a bushing, there's bushing, there's bushing. Oops. Okay, so now we have to broach. This is the pivot that goes in that hole and won't go in at all. So we have to take a broach, we stick it in here, and we start to cut. Now what the bore on this one is 1.5. And we have to take out by broaching from both sides enough for that to go in. We've got to go some more. I stick the cutting broach in and we cut. And we start to see eventually. Got some more to go. Why is that thing slipping? Okay. I'm cooperating here a lot. Why is this doing this to me? Okay, now we got it. Okay. Brooch. And fit. And brooch. And fit. Okay, it's just about to go in. But I like to broach from the other side, keeping in mind the brooch is tapered. Okay, now let's see what we got. Okay, that goes in. Nice. Okay. Feels just tiny bit tight. So we just broach just a tiny bit more. And let's see what we got. Okay, good. And now I want to take the burr off of that by chamfering that hole just a tiny bit. And then what I want to do is I will now use a smooth brooch to finish the hole. I gotta see what I got here. It's the brooch I want, that's the one. Okay. This, I really want a little bit of foil. Just a tiny bit, not a whole lot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this smooth brooch now and put it in there. I'm going to turn it. That smooths the inside of that thing. And we'll go to the other side. We'll smooth that side too. Just do some turning. Okay. And now we should have a nice smooth fit in there. Okay. And you can see there's not excessive play in that. And that will turn nicely in that hole. And it's not going to have a lot of wear. It should run very nicely now. We wanted to test it. Put it back between the plates. Okay. And when it's in, then you can see it runs nice and smooth. And there's still end shake. Should be movement back and forth. And I look at it and there's no play there at all. And we'll continue to do that with the rest of these. Now that that bushing has been redone, I wiggle gears now. You see, very much less movement. And these run very nicely, smoothly. The only problem now is we've got to do the other side. as you can see. Now here's one that's not been bushed. Not been bushed. Not been bushed. And then once they're bushed, you just don't see that jumping around movement at all. So that's the difference. We'll do the other side and then that side will be done. And now we've got the back side done. I move and you see there's no flopping around of those pivots anymore. Nice end shake. And when I run it, nice movement. Okay. Okay. Now with that slack taken up, everything polished, pivots are been polished, everything running real good. It should run for many, many, many years to come. So we'll now do the run side and then we can put it back together. Not happy with this. It's pretty loose. I think I'll just knock this bushing out of here and return it on the lathe. Maybe I'll check first, see if I can maybe just put a sleeve in it. Okay, I just drove this out. Not real easy to do, but you gotta whack it really hard with a punch and a hammer. And not a good idea to have the camera in the way when you do that. So anyway, I knocked it out. This is what we have to replace. We just have to make that hole smaller so that's the bearing for the main wheel, and it's got to go in there. So had to measure that, and that wrote out the dimensions of what I got to do. And we're going to cut out a piece on the lathe. That's over here. Got a piece about the right size. And we'll start from there. when I... Okay. And I cut through. Okay. The inside of the hole, or the inside of the hole here, has a little bevel on it, so that when this piece, this new piece, is put in here, like so, and it gets peened over so that the edge of that goes into that bevel, and then the piece can't fall back out. Got it broached out, and now we see there's a tiny bit of play, but not like it was. Got end shake. Everything turns nice in that new bushing, and that one now matches what we got on the others, like so. And there we go. Now that one's done. Okay, run side. Get it back together. Running just as nice as it can be. Nothing's flopping around anymore. Okay, you gotta start putting this back together. Here's the new piece we made here. And which way does this go on? Well, it counts this way and turn this way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Clock plus, you can see the other side there's a wear point. That's from rubbing on the back there. That goes on. That's the count wheel. And the count wheel gets this little thing to hold it on. Okay. There we go. Now that's on. Ready for action. And really the next thing we got to do is put the springs on the clock main wheels. This is the we had to put a new spring in this one. The center of the other one was all screwed up, so that's a little oddball. Is this normally would go around the bottom. There's a little post here that goes on. have to pull this apart just enough to get that one in without everything else falling out. Okay. Alright. I think we got them all. Okay. Got everything in. Get the rest of it put together. Okay. This is the time adjust, and the key that came with this didn't have the right sized end here. So I've resized the square on that for the key to fit now. Problem now is that this also doesn't fit through the hole in the dial. So I'm going to put that into the lathe and I'm going to cut that down some so that it'll fit through the dial.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm gonna have some ice cream. Do you want me to dish up some for you?
Well, it sounds pretty good to me.
Should I dish it up now or wait?
You can dish it up now. I'll just oil this thing. I'll be right up. Okay, we've had it running on the test stand now. Got the pendulum adjusted. Got the manual adjustment set almost in the middle. This thing is keeping pretty doggone perfect time right now. So it's been running now for about 4 days. So we'll continue to let it run, and tomorrow probably put it back in the case. But it's running real well right now. Looking at the case, there's not a lot of sense of putting a nice clean movement back into a filthy case. Even that dial, that's got to be taken out and cleaned. I can't believe they don't clean these things. But we'll take the dial out. The dial is held on with 4 nails. And we'll pull those out and take the dial off. Okay, there's the case. Cleaned up a little bit inside.